My main concerns with this team obviously is going to be the offensive scheme and how the team adjusts to it. Because talent wise, they have pretty much this. They have pretty much the same roster, like you said, as last year, and they still won what they won 13 games,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
They won a division. I know that for sure.
Yeah, they won the division, but so yeah, my whole thing is then is just scheme. Let's see how the scheme works, how the players operate and adjust to the scheme. I don't really have much reservations for their talent.
I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. Let's get down to it. Detroit, our lads. Here we go. Our lads.
I
So
think
the
people
Lions.
are unnecessarily writing them off, and I
Yeah.
don't understand because this roster still has a lot of talent on it.
So the Lions, they pretty much have almost everybody back from the starting lineup from last year,
And
minus
they added some help on the defensive end, on the
yeah,
defensive
minus
secondary.
minus who is it? Frank? Was it Frank
Ragno, he
Ragnow?
retired.
He
Yeah.
retired, yeah, which is a
Hey,
big
you
deal.
did you see that clip? It was a rep of Tate Ratledge, and he leveled somebody last night during the preseason game. I said, "Ooh,
Really? Wow, I
yeah,
didn't know that. Yeah, so the Lions, they still have Amon Ra, they still have Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams going to be playing a full season now, which is great. Sam Laporta, Jared Goff, Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery's coming off of that injury. Uh, you still have Taylor Decker. You still have Penei Sewell. You still have a lot of the pieces, a lot of the same pieces that you had from last year. And then when you go to defense, Aiden Hutchinson's coming back, which is great.
yeah."
Coming back from an injury, DJ Reader, McNeil, Marcus Davenport, who's is pretty mediocre, but hey, he's there.
Yeah,
And then you have Jack Campbell, you have Derek Barnes, you have Terry and Arnold, which is I need to see more from Terry.
I'm not Terry and Arnold. He had a wow, that was bad, which is surprising from a Bama DB. But
We'll see, we'll see. But I
don't
will
forget
say
they
though,
drafted Tyleek Williams.
yeah, Tyleek Williams, he'll come in for according to PFF, he'll come in for like nickel. They'll add him like when they're doing nickel coverage. So, and then you have and arguably the best safety tandem in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. They added DJ Reed as well. So,
Big pickup.
yeah, yeah, that is the offense. That is the defense. I'm trying to see real quick. So, I think one of the big concerns is like we mentioned when Frank Ragnow, he's gone now. So the center position they have Graham Glasgow, who it's a bit questionable. So the interior, mainly the center position, we'll see how that goes. But for the most part, the offensive line is pretty well. Lastly, though, the coaching staff. We all know that the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, they're not there no more. So how are they going to adjust to that? I've been hearing a lot from Dan Orlowski. I've been hearing a lot from other NFL analysts that is very difficult to try to adjust to a different coaching staff, to a different scheme. But what I've heard is that all they did was go in house. So the guys that were coaching last year, they just got upgraded to offensive coordinator. I don't know about the defensive coordinator. I don't know the history about the defensive coordinator, but I know the offensive coordinator. He was already a part of the Lions last year. So, any concerns?
Yeah.
Any concerns with the Lions?
Well, I was looking at something. I was looking up clips about John Morton, see what the temperature has been with his play calling and scheming up in training camp. And I came across John Gruden in full Lions uniform. So I'm like, did they hire him within the org or something? Or was he just there?
I don't know.
Either who. But yeah, my main concerns with this team obviously is going to be the offensive scheme and how the team adjusts to it. Because talent wise, they have pretty much the same roster, like you said, as last year, and they still won what they won 13 games,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
They won a division. I know that for sure.
Yeah, they won a division, but so yeah, my whole thing is just scheme. Let's see how the scheme works, how the players operate and adjust to the scheme. I don't really have much reservations for their talent. I still think the offensive line will be top of the league. Receiving, they have what they need to. They, still got Amon-Ra. Jameson Williams is really starting to come into his own as a player. Especially, I think this is a contract year for him, so he's definitely going to want to shine out there. I heard some good things about this Isaac Tesla draft pick that they took in the 3rd round. Still got Jahmyr Gibbs, Demo. Defensively, I do think it's going to take a little bit for Aiden Hutchinson to get back into his full, like his usual self. I heard he's been doing pretty good in training camp, though, despite, still recovering from injury, still getting better from the injury. Malik McNeil, I'm not too sure how long he's going to be out for, but it's a good thing they drafted Tyleik Williams to step in to that role. But my main problem with this roster would be I don't have one. They just have a really solid unit. Like, I don't know. Like, they have Marcus Davenport as your other side of your defense. It is kind of bleh. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they just need to stay healthy. And what really going to matter is how these players adjust to the new defensive and offensive scheme.
Are you concerned that a lot of their key players, especially on defense, are coming back from injury, and then you have to deal with adjusting to a new scheme as well on defense? Are you concerned about that? Because like they're coming off of major injuries. Aiden Hutchinson, you mentioned McNeil, like these are key players that they're going to rely on this year to try to win games, and they're coming back from major injuries, and then they also have to worry about, okay, here's a new defensive coordinator, a new scheme that they're going to have to get accustomed with.
Yeah, that's always a concern, because you could never just be full on. Like, even if you are technically healthy, there's still, you got to get over the mental aspect of trusting to use the part that got injured. Like, we hear from ACL injuries, a lot of these dudes be healthy coming back from ACL injuries, but it's a mental block they have to get over. They put full trust and faith into that leg. But I feel like this team is tough. The culture that they've established is toughness, and these are some tough guys. So I do think, as far as injury will go, I think they'll be ready to go. But as far as the defensive scheme, I'm not too familiar with Kelvin Shepard's scheme on defense. I haven't heard anything really. I haven't really heard much of anything coming out of Lions training camp from the beat reporters or any clips or anything like that. So not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Maybe they're keeping stuff close to the vest for the most part because it is a whole new coaching staff. You don't want to just put out everything you want to do to the media and stuff. But I do think with the culture they've established, I do think the players will be ready to go. And they will go out there and play hard. And the adjustment period shouldn't be grueling for them.
Okay, that's fair enough. Do you think that the Lions have the least amount of questions compared to all the other teams in the NFC North?
No, I don't actually, because the only question I would have for the Vikings is JJ McCarthy, who we say who is going to be the guy. That's the only question I have with the Vikings. I like the coaching staff. I like the roster. The thing is with the Lions, it's just literally the coaching staff, and that is a huge part of winning football games.
Okay, that's fair. I think we can move on from there.